The opposition calls it a staggering admission. The Premier has revealed that the sale of the state's power assets is now effectively irreversible, and trying to scrap the deal would expose the government to hundreds of millions of dollars in compensation. Kristina Keneally's statement came in the heat of a pre-election leaders' forum in Western Sydney. Ben Worsley reports.
Ignore the pleasantries and forget the formalities. This campaign has begun.
I expect to hear from Mr O'Farrell lots of negatives about Labor. I expect to hear a lot from him about the past, and I expect to hear a lot of platitudes.
This is the same speech that Labor has been making for 16 years. Frankly, people in Western Sydney and across this state have had a gutful.
The location was no coincidence. The west of the city is the key to the state, so they came to Penrith armed with questions.
How much priority are we really going to give transport in Western Sydney?
What initiatives will you take to promote the use of renewable energy?
Where do you stand on a second airport?
The answers largely disappointed, and there were no new policies, but there were barbs, some of them personal.
Would you put the AAA at risk?
Well, no, as I said in the speech, Quentin, so you weren't paying attention.
I know, but
we will deal responsibly
Usually you don't insult
within the
the
AAA.
host, Barry. Just good debate.
It was a joke, Kristina. That's an Australian tradition. As I said,
Jokes aside, the debate did reveal something when Barry O'Farrell attacked the Premier over her power privatisation.
Halt the sale of the first tranche. The contracts aren't yet signed.
Yes, they are. Yes,
well, that's not what was told at the parliamentary inquiry.
If we tear up those contracts, not only are we going to have all that liability come back to the state government, we are also going to face millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in compensation costs.
Mr O'Farrell calls it a staggering admission.
This is the Premier, this is the Treasurer who refused to provide that information to the Parliamentary Committee. It shouldn't have slipped out in debate at a forum in Western Sydney.
The official campaign hasn't even started. Ben Worsley, ABC News, Sydney.